Good evening, and welcome to another spectacular version of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. Now here's your spurious and sagacious host, Voice of Doom. Hello. Okay, I figured I'd catch you up on the latest in the political front. A lot seems to be going on. I'm glad to see the goppers are finally rolling the ball forward as far as impeachment goes, which, of course, we know is futile. But, like one of these wags said, no one's ever been convicted. We've impeached 4 times, but never convicted, so we'll just impeach again and not convict. But the crimes are deep, and it's very fun to watch because a lot is going on. I'll tell you about a few things. First of all, the overall consensus of PetriDish's sojourn to India and Vietnam is, as usual, a total fiasco. Par for the course. So he's batting 1,000 as far as effing up. He can tout, and the wags and the apparatchiks can tout about the low job employment and the lowering of prices for prescription drugs. 2 great milestones, which has had a great impact in everyone's life who hasn't gone to Walmart and gotten cheap drugs. But be that as it may, more or less everybody knows it was a fiasco. I won't go through all the details. I've got to go to sleep now. I mean, nothing but fodder for the other side. But let's just talk about what people don't really talk about too much, but they mention it a little. But when you don't see a country, it's out of sight, out of mind. It doesn't really exist until you see it on the YouTube or the news. PetriDish is in Hanoi, so you know there's Hanoi, and we're looking at Hanoi, and then he leaves and Hanoi disappears. Just like some Twilight Zone thing. Once you don't see it, it's gone. Okay. But I have a feeling that these people are alive over there when we're not looking. And the leaders are getting up in the morning just like everybody else and putting their pants on one leg at a time. And the Ayatollahs are putting their robes on one flap at a time and getting up and starting their day. And they must be looking at what used to be America and its leadership with real awe and real, I can't believe what I'm seeing and hearing. And all these years we have been subservient to this great superpower, and I don't believe what idiocy I'm listening to. Prince of Saudi Arabia, whatever his name is, Salami. Ayatollah's getting $6 billion in return for prisoners, and then we gave them our prisoners too. So we traded prisoner for prisoner, plus here's $6 billion. Only if you use it on humanitarian aid for your people. Yes, okay, thank you. Come on. Just wrong all the way around. There was always this policy: we don't negotiate with terrorists because then it just creates more. Now, I could take that or leave it. If it was a straight prisoner trade, I think I could just about go along with it. It's like we got together, made an agreement, here we go. But the $6 billion, okay. So the corruption's deep, and so McCarthy's on this podium and saying, here's all the charges we have so far. Here's what we're going to be looking into. And the D's get on right away and say it's a mega, ultra right wing conspiracy. There's, they're implying that by having an inquiry, where the coppers are admitting there's no evidence. They wouldn't need need an inquiry if they had evidence. I mean, I even made that up. They were even stupider. They're saying there's no evidence of anything. I mean, I could have been smarter for the D's. But it's bad. Now, I'm just going to tie all together toward doom as I go forward. The UAW don't really care about labor strikes, but I guess according to the powers on the toutings and wags, it's going to cause a big brouhaha with the economy, which is already happening because gas is up. Gas is $4.50 to $4.59 in Carson City, and diesel is like up to $5.15. So when diesel goes up, trucking and transportation costs go up, prices go up all over the place. So we're going to see more inflation. It's going to be like hyperinflation, especially with the food shortages. So Petri's done a great job. And the ironic part is the D's are even getting smart enough to know that they can't go on like this, because sooner or later Petri's going to do something really bizarre that they won't be able to back away from. I mean, something I won't even say what could be possible. He's in with a crowd of well-wishers, sniffing and pawing, and he's losing his mind. So of course he's going to lose his inhibitions. Come on. Do they want to wait until something like that happens? No, they don't. So, sneaking and slithering and oiling its way into the media are criticisms of PetriDish, saying he shouldn't run again. And that's the beginning of the end for him, and the crash is going to be deafening. It's going to be, the best thing to happen is a little discussion around the kitchen table that he keeps talking about. Let's have a discussion about you can resign due to health reasons, and nobody will ask any questions. No one will say a word about it. And we will drop all these ridiculous charges that we have against you, like taking bribery money, $10 million, pretty much extortion and, bribery and corruption of all kinds, making phone calls. Now, I know it's unfair to impeach a president over phone calls. That's totally unfair. It's never been done before. But they're piling up the charges against PetriDish, and the media is slowly turning, and when it turns, it's going to turn faster and faster until everybody says, please go. Don't make us do what we have to do. Now, we head toward an election, and we got an unknown quantity against Orangey. And I was at the UAW talking about prices. There's more things happening. September 30th is the deadline for the moving of the debt ceiling, which they always move eventually. So I've already talked about that before, how absurd the whole thing is. Sooner or later, we're going to move it up $2 trillion more. And we get to the amount before they even sign the document. So that's a mess. So we got the end of the government in September 30th. We have climbing inflation, because the more it climbs, it feeds off itself. And then we have a PetriDish with dementia, who's about to be stabbed in the back, figuratively, like Caesar. Et tu, brute. But that's what's going to happen now. I know that the D's are getting kind of desperate, and they know that everything's coming to a head, and there's really no real solutions at hand, especially when you talk about immigrants being shipped all over the place and living on the streets in the urban areas and causing a ruckus. And everybody's at each other's throats over everything. On top of that, you end up doing scorched earth. Not you. Lost my train of thought because I started getting excited. The D's will make scorched earth. There's going to have to be an event that takes people's minds off all these stupid problems. They got to make a worse problem in order to take people's minds off our problems. So, whether it be this digital monetizing or whether it be just some sort of a bad thing happen of any kind, nuclear war, pandemics, or EMPs, or food shortages which cause panic. That's probably the worst one. Along with global warming, of course. Let's not forget that. So we're looking at doom. But I don't know how much I want to chortle about PetriDish's plight, because they're reaching a point where there's got to be some sort of give somewhere. Because Petri, November 20th, whatever, November 24, come on. It's going to do something weird that people won't be able to hide, and suddenly there will be an illness. And what happens after that remains to be seen, but it can't be good. Obviously can't be good. I thought this would be better because I was all set to lambaste. But at any rate, the original topic was the leaders of the other countries. They're looking at this guy like, you gotta be kidding. How can this possibly be happening? They probably don't believe their own eyes. And whether or not they're plotting together, whether North Korea is plotting with Russia, or Russia's plotting with China, or China's already got North Korea, or India's kind of playing both sides of the fence, and Turkey are playing both sides of the fence, and you got Russian former Soviet republics joining in. I don't know. Everything looks rosy. So we'll leave it there. I thought I'd be more sarcastic. I'll watch it and see if it was good. Thanks. Bye.